Guys, it is Aoife from Fred We See Died Laughing, and I'm here to do a tag video. So I was tagged in the Timelord Book Tag by Strange Shelley, and I will link her down below, and I'll also link the original tag creator below as well. So this tag is all about Doctor Who, and I actually have never watched Doctor Who, and it's weird because it's one of those things that I should like completely love, but I've never really I think it's one of those things that I've like been too intimidated to start watching because like I just have no idea where to start. There's like so many doctors and so many seasons and I just don't know. I'm just so lost with it. And I do want to watch it, but I'm just too scared. So I'll just get on with the questions and I'll show you my bookish answers. Question number 1 is Doomsday, a book that gives you all the feels, and for this one I have chosen All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, and this book is definitely one that made me laugh and made me cry and made me just up and down all over the place. It is just such a good book. So there has been some like mixed feelings about how mental health is expressed in this book, but I actually personally really enjoyed it. I felt like it was one of those things where mental health issues can happen to anyone, and those people that you might think don't suffer from mental health issues really do, and just because someone is smiling and laughing and being a clown doesn't mean that they don't have their own issues and they don't suffer from things like depression. So that's why I really like this book, and if you haven't read it I would definitely say to give it a go. Number 2, Over 50 Years on Air, a character that you think you could read about forever. And I've chosen the character of Firethorn, who's actually from the book Firethorn by Sarah Micklem. I really adore this book. It is about kind of a girl in a fantasy world, and she becomes a concubine for this knight, and she follows him to kind of the, not really the battlefield, but kind of like the army camp for months on end. And she is quite smart. She's able to look after herself, and she's able to do things for other women in the camp as well, like create different, pick different berries and plants and stuff like that that might stop them getting pregnant, and helps out with other different ailments and stuff like that. And she has her own little backstory, and I really enjoyed it. I really love it. And there is actually a sequel to this book called Wildfire, but I really hated it, so I kind of like to pretend that it doesn't happen. Like, there's supposed to be a third one, but I don't think it was ever written, or it's just not finished, and it's been years and years, so I don't know whether there is going to be a third one or what's going to happen with that. But if there was a better sequel I would read it, but I think I could read this book over and over again and just not get tired of it and not get tired of Firethorn because I love her so much. Number 3, Rose, a character you miss. And I'm going to talk about something that is in the last book of the Black Magician trilogy by Trudy Canavan in The High Lord. And if you haven't read this book, or if you're reading it and you just haven't got to this part, or if you don't want to know what happens, just mute me or skip past me until I'm not holding this up anymore, because I'm going to talk about a certain death that happens, and yeah, so you don't want to know about that if you haven't read the book. And the person I am going to talk about is a Karen. I think it's a Karen. Yes, a Karen. And I just have never gotten over him leaving this book series. And even though it happens at the very end and we have 3 books with him, I just missed him. As soon as he was gone, I missed him, and I was just completely devastated by it. And the Traitor Spy series, which is like a follow-on series, like 20 years after this book, I just kept expecting him to show up, even though obviously he can't because he's dead. But I just loved him so much, and I loved his relationship with Sonia, and I just can't believe that he sacrificed himself. And I just missed him. As I said, I just missed him the moment he was gone. I missed him. I just wanted him to come back. I wanted something to be reversed, that he never had to die. And yeah, so that was just one of those deaths that really floored me. And come back Karen. Rory, Amy and 11, your favourite fictional family. And who else am I going to pick except the Weasleys? I love the Weasleys. I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to be part of the Weasley family. They are just amazing. They're so welcoming. You could just become best friends with all of them. Molly would become like a second mom. I just love her so much. I love that family, and I just would really love just to go and have breakfast with them, because I say it's just so much fun. Weeping Angel, a magical creature that you would love to meet in real life, and this has to be a unicorn for me. I mean, I love horses, but I would just love to meet a unicorn, because they're just so magical and beautiful and pure and just amazing. It would just be amazing. If there's any unicorns out there, come and find me because I want to meet you. Strax, a character that made you laugh. I originally had Mark Watney from The Martian, but I think I've answered a similar question in a different tag video with Mark Watney, but he does make me laugh. But a more recent character that made me laugh is Ollie from Because You'll Never Meet Me. Just the way he writes his letters and his humour is just so funny, and for someone who is so separated from society and, you know, he's never really talked to a lot of people, he is really, really funny. He is just a natural, as Maurice told him in the book, he is a natural born storyteller, a natural comedian, and he just made me laugh out loud. And he's just such really that kind of character that just makes you smile because he is just so happy most of the time, and I really loved him. 9, a character you think deserves more credit. I wasn't really sure about this one, so I've just gone with John from the Gentleman Bastard series, which is also Loch Lamora series, and I just kind of find that he's probably someone where Loch Lamora kind of probably gets a lot of the credit for all the schemes, but Jean Tannen is like his right hand man, and like Loch would be nowhere without Jean. Like Loch would be dead in a ditch somewhere if it wasn't for Jean looking out for him all the time. So he definitely deserves all the credit for most of the schemes that they do. Like, they would say that Loch is the brains, I guess, but you know, those brains need a head and a neck and a shoulders to hold it up, and that is definitely Jean. 10, a character you fell in love with, and this has to be Day from the Legend series, as I've said a million times before, and I'm also going to go with Frank from Since You've Begun. I really love Frank. Frank is one of those guys that if I had seen him in my secondary school, which is our high school over here in Ireland, that I would completely fancied him. He was just amazing. I would really love him for like a real life boyfriend. So if there's any Franks out there, call me. 11, a character who kept you guessing, and this guy is still keeping me guessing, and I'm going to go with Jericho Barons from the Dark Fever series or the Michaela Lane series. I just have no idea what that guy is up to, and it's getting so annoying, and I just want to find out. And he's just like someone who is just really secretive and never lets anyone know any of his secrets ever. Number 12, a character who seems cold at first, but then you discover they may have a heart or two. And I've gone with Denny from A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler. Denny is a character who just seems really aloof and really cold, and you're not really sure whether he really cares about anyone or if he really cares about anyone other than himself. But after a while you kind of see the little things that he does to help his family, and that he will be there if he is needed. So yeah, I still wasn't completely sold on his character by the end of the book. He's just a little bit too selfish for me, but he does have a heart somewhere in that body of his. Clara, a character trope that just keeps happening, and I've gone with kind of the typical ones of, you know, parents being dead and also being poor. For some reason, a lot of characters, especially in dystopians and stuff like that, the characters are always really poor. So that is definitely something that crops up. And a new one, there's a new trope that I've seen pop up a lot in a few books, and that is twins being mixed up. I've seen about 3 or 4 different books where the story is centered around, you know, one twin pretending to be the other twin that has died or gone away, or, you know, parents getting mixed up and thinking one twin is dead when it's actually the other twin that is dead, or something like that. But I've seen it a lot. Like, actually was thinking about it last night when I was reading a book summary, and yeah, it's just something. Has anyone else noticed that? I have noticed it, so let me know if it's not just me. Donna, a character that you didn't like at first, and this is actually going to be Kitty from To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. When Kitty first was mentioned in the book, she was just being really bratty and spoiled, and yeah, she's only like 9 years old, but she was just being a little bit too bratty for me, and I was kind of like, oh, this girl. And then as you get on with the book and you kind of find out more about Kitty's character, she's actually just amazing. She's just really clever, just really in control of herself and in control of situations and able to manage people, and just, she's just amazing. She's just a really cool character, and I ended up adoring her by the end of the first book, and then I went on to read the second one and I loved her even more. Martha, a character who seems to be in the shadow of another character, and I didn't really know what to do for this either, so I've just gone with Eric from The Heir, who is Henry's translator in this book. So he's always following Henry, and you know, he's kind of in the shadow of Henry, I guess, for a lot of the book. And to be honest, I want him to remain in the shadow of Henry because I don't really like him, and I am completely team Henry, so Eric can just stay in the shadows and let no one notice him until, you know, Evelyn marries Henry, because that's what I want to happen. Monsters or obstacles that just keep cropping up, and I've gone with any of the Fae in the Michaela Lane series, because there's just so many of them all the time, and it just gets really, really tiring. Like, literally all the time someone is attacking someone. It's like, can they not just have one day of a break, please? So yeah. And then another obstacle is really annoying, is like people not, you know, keeping secrets and not like opening up about different things that, like, you know, would just it would just solve everything if they just like were truthful. And it's just really, really annoying, and they just let it get in their way, and it's like, come on, just tell them, it'll be grand. So yeah, that's just something that really, really annoys me when it happens. So that is my Timelord tag, and I don't know who to tag because I just don't have anyone written down. So what I will do is I will tag anyone who, like me, would love to read Doctor Who or watch Doctor Who, and you're just too afraid to because there's just too many seasons and too many episodes and you don't know where to start. So if you're like that, then I tag you as well. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. So bye.